I'm excited, man. I am excited.
You're gonna squirt off for it.
There we go.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm loading it up right now.
Adam, what's your at?
Hold on, I gotta spell it out. Nasty. Oh no, nasty. Natty with 2 eyes. 513. Damn, I really got an ad in your stream, Paul.
That's crazy. That's
Your stream, Paul.
That's crazy.
Okay, dude. Your stream, Paul.
That's crazy. Okay.
I'll play one more.
I'm trying to get it to where you can see the chat. How do you? Oh, I need to get a creator.
What in the world?
No. We are live. We got 4 viewers in here.
It does feel a little dark. Oh.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to episode 1. Let me know whenever you guys are ready.
I'm good whenever you are.
Bryce, are you good?
Just about. I need to get this link and I'm ready to go. Just about. I need to get this link and I'm ready to go. Just about. I need to get this link and I'm ready to go.
I just heard it like 3 times.
I did too.
Okay. Wait, talk again?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
I think that came from my end.
Oh, okay.
That was weird.
Scraped, how's it going?
Yeah, if my audio gets scuffed, just let me know and I'll try to fix it.
Sounds good. 6 of you guys in here. Thank you guys for stopping by. And whenever you are ready.
All right.
You good?
Yep.
Wow, fellas, we are in a new season. All right. Second, I'm doing this here. Okay, we got 8 of you guys in here. I think now's a good time to start. Welcome, everybody. What's up, Zai? Thanks for stopping by, brother. We got the Family Ties organization presents the We Know Ball podcast, hosted by me, Paul, and as always, Bryce, Duke. But now we got a new host joining us, and that's Adam Smith. I want to say thank you to Adam for joining us alongside the podcast this year. Bryce, as always, is here to help and give some great input. But Adam, you want to introduce yourself or anything here to the community?
Most of y'all know me. I'm Vamp. Not really much to say besides go Bearcats.
So yeah, he does open it up with saying who he's a fan of. We know Bryce is a Cowboy at that. What's up, Novos? Right. Okay, Stick. How's it going, brother?
Yeah, there it is. My boy Stick in there in the chat. As always, staying live.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and start with the first thing, which is. Sorry, some of the pictures came off a little blurry, but we got a Florida State upset. We start out here in week 0 with the Georgia Tech defeating number 10 Florida State in overtime in Dublin. Do you guys think this is more of Georgia Tech being good, or how far did Florida State fall off?
I still think Florida State was a little bit overrated or overranked coming into the season. I think they were ranked way too high in AP at number 10. But I do think Georgia Tech is also just improved. Like, they're a better team this year than what they have been in years past. So I definitely think Georgia Tech could be a top 25 team this year. I don't know if we'd put them in the top 25 yet, but it was a very solid win for them, and they are going to be a team on the schedule that you need to look out for.
Adam?
Yeah, I also think Florida State was a little bit overrated. Coming on from last year, they lost a lot. But also, Hayes King, Georgia Tech's quarterback, he played pretty well. And their running back, I forget his name, Jamal Haynes. It felt like Georgia Tech just dominated in both trenches and the offense and defensive lines, and Yeah. I do think, Georgia Tech can be a sleeper in the, well.
Yeah. For me, this game also shows, this game and the Georgia game last year just shows how impactful Jordan Travis was, and how much they missed at the quarterback position for Florida State. Maybe his value was a little underappreciated last year overall by the college football community, but it proves big time, and Florida State's starting out on the back foot. Now, with the expanded playoff, they're not completely out of it, but they've got some work to do.
Yeah, definitely. I still think they're a threat in the ACC.
Yeah.
I think also it felt like they didn't really open up the playbook much for DJU. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. But like a lot of their throws was just like short throws, not taking chances, which I think also kind of hurt them. And also, they had 2 golden opportunities on drop snaps that they didn't recover. There was one, I remember, King tried to hand off the ball, and he fumbled it, and there's 5 D linemen and 1 Georgia Tech player, and they couldn't get it. So, like, I don't know. But, yeah, I still think they should respect Florida State still in the ACC.
Yeah, especially since the ACC is not too great.
Yeah.
So the next thing is, speaking of predicting things here, I want to see what you guys think for the win total predictions. I'm going to give you guys a team.
That's what I was about to say.
I think I got 10 or 12 here, and I have their projected wins according to FanDuel. I want you guys to tell me if you think they're going to finish over or under their projected wins. All right?
Yeah.
So, Bryce, you good with that?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to start off here with our teams. So the first team on the board, on the chopping block, in a very blurry picture, is going to be the Cincinnati Bearcats, who their line sits at 5.5.
Easy over.
I also think they're going to hit the over. I think they might play one ranked team on the schedule this year.
As of right now, yeah.
I think they'll hit the over, but I think they're going to get 6 wins to barely hit the over.
I do agree with that. I think honestly the ceiling for this team is 7-5. 6-6. I just want to get back to a bowl game, and their schedule to start the year, at least, allows them to do that. Because you got an FCS opponent, week 1, week 2, a Pitt team that you've already beat once, and I'm pretty sure they didn't lose a lot last year. It's basically the same team, and then Miami of Ohio. You got to get your revenge there.
Yeah, you should start out 3-0 realistically.
I think there's a good chance they start 4-0.
Yeah, I think they do beat Houston.
Yeah, that's right. If you look up and down their schedule, it's not very tough overall. I wonder how the Colorado game is going to go. But
yeah,
that's interesting. Also, chat, everybody in here. We are an interactive podcast. Anything that we are saying, we want you guys to play along as well. If you think that they're going to hit over this or under that, go ahead and let us know. We'll give some feedback on what your opinion is. If that's the big idea behind this podcast, is we're very interactive with our chat. We like to base a lot of stuff off what you guys say. I think we all 3 went with the over here, which I don't mind that. I think also too. I think they're going to be.
It's a great comment, Zai. It's 11-1. That's a great comment right there.
Their one loss is the Towson.
Imagine.
But, so I agree with that. Yeah. Next up, we got the Oklahoma State Cowboys, who are sitting at 8.5.
I think you need to slam the over on that one. The line on that game has raised since it first dropped, and they had it criminally low. So people have already going to make a ton of money coming into this season if you hit it when it was earlier. But I do think that the over is going to slam. I think they were going to get at least 10 wins in the regular season, and that should be almost a lock.
10 wins. Wow, that's a pretty big prediction there.
Oh yeah, the schedule for Oklahoma State, the toughest part of the schedule is the first 6 games of the season. Once you're done with the first 6, the back half of the schedule is super easy. It should be much more relaxed. You have a couple of bye weeks in there. That's going to get the players fresh, ready to play, give them a break off the field. I think if you give through these first 6 weeks when people don't really know who you are yet, and you can still have people don't have film on you, you come out 5-1, 6-0 in that stretch. You're looking real good for the rest of the season.
I also think the over is going to go here, especially with the new Big 12 being how it is, losing a couple heavy hitters. But here's the issue for Oklahoma State with me, Bryce, and you might agree with me. I do not trust Bowman to be a passing team, and I saw it in the UCF game last year and the Texas game. If Oklahoma State gets down, they're much better of a running team holding a lead, in my opinion, when they have the best running back in college football. And I think that's a big thing to their game. I'm just not a huge believer in Alan Bowman.
So I'm sort of with you there. I do not think Alan Bowman's the greatest quarterback we've ever had, and I don't think he's top 5 in the conference. But this is going to be the first year for Alan Bowman where he gets to play back-to-back seasons bearing injury. He started as a true freshman in Texas Tech. He played that season until he got injured. The next season, he was playing, and then he got injured again. And then going into the spring of the following season at Texas Tech, the COVID year, he got injured a third time in a row. He then transferred to Michigan and was back up to J.J. McCarthy for those years, and he also got injured at Michigan. So injuries has really prolonged his career, and last year was his first full year playing college football since his true freshman season. So if he's able to come back this year with all the reps and chemistry he's had with the players from last year and produce going into this season, now that he knows the system, he knows the guys, he has spent time with them now, I think we can see a major step in our passing game this year, along with everyone expecting us to feed the rock to Ollie. If everyone loads the box up on him, we are very deep at receiver this year. Like, we have guys everywhere on the field that they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem for the defense. So we are going to be able to pass and run the ball and do what we want on offense this year.
So I don't think that this is a hot take to say that if Gundy plays the cards right, Oklahoma State should be the best play action team in the country.
I definitely think it's a possibility. Yes.
Because everybody knows how good Ollie is, and being able to add that, setting up the run to develop that play action type play, I think that could really benefit them and get them comfortable. What, Adam? What did you want to say about the over under? And be honest, if you don't like it or anything, that's the whole point.
Nah, I do like it. I do think they go over. I thought the original one, I think it was at like 7.5, at 1 win lower. Sorry, I thought that was really low. They did give them a bump up, but I still think, as Bryce said, the back half of this schedule for the Cowboys is honestly, it should be pretty easy. Like he said, once you get past Utah, Kansas State, and West Virginia, I think they should cruise. Just like I think Saturday they'll have a test against South Dakota State, but the other 2 non-conference games are a snooze fest. I mean, Arkansas is not that good anymore, so I think they're going.
You're going 1-11. By the way, he did say that. But I did see a stat today, Bryce, and this isn't knocking your guys because I think that they're going to be very good. Hit their over. That 6 out of their last 7 openers they've struggled against FCS schools.
Oh yeah, our home opener has not been great for a while now. It's the classic Gundy scare. I mean, in 2021, all of our non-conference games, we played Missouri State, which was a 1-score game going into the last minute of the game. The following week, we played at Boise State, which they were leading 90% of the game, and we came back to win that at the end. And then we played Tulsa the week after, which was a 1-score game until midway through the fourth quarter. So we ended up going 11-1 in the regular season that year. So our non-conference games we come out very slow, but we will always pick it up during conference play and come back to surprise a lot of teams.
So are you a little bit worried week 1?
Yes. I think if this game was to be played 10 times, I think we would lose this game 3 out of 10 times.
That's
so
crazy. Yes.
This is
South Dakota State is really, really good.
South Dakota State ranked nationally, is ranked as the 50th best team in the country. Even though they're FCS, they are ranked higher than other Power 4 teams currently in the country.
North Dakota State can't be far from them.
They're not.
No, they're
North-
neck and neck.
Yeah,
Essentially.
Yeah.
I know that they. But yeah,
Both of them
just
are within the
wrong.
top 65.
Yeah, which is impressive for FCS. Next up, I put my team here, Ohio State, at 10.5.
I think. Oh my bad, Bruce. Go ahead.
I think Ohio State's going to go 11-1. So I would also hit the over on all three of our teams.
That's what I was gonna say. I think you guys lose to Oregon, but beat Michigan this year, and then cruise through everybody else. So I think 11-1. Just about where you guys finish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it at all. This doesn't include postseason, does it? The wins?
No, it's only
No,
regular
it's just
season.
I was
regular
going to say then yeah. I think that's about right. I think 11 sounds just about right, I would say.
We have Zai being a D1 hater
D1
on Ohio
hater.
State and Oklahoma State. Not what you like to see.
Not what you like to see out of
D1 hater in the chat.
In the
For real.
chat.
You like him saying UC's going 11-1 though. You gotta like that.
Yeah.
Miami Hurricanes, 9.5.
That's very interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because I don't think Miami's that good, but I also think the ACC is horrible.
Miami's
Especially with
schedule.
Florida State being bad, like losing
Yeah.
like that. I think they are really,
Let me see.
really bad.
Miami's schedule is one of the easiest schedules in the ACC.
Yeah,
They don't have hardly any tough teams. I think their
No.
toughest games are Florida State, Syracuse,
And Louisville.
and yeah,
Zion said
Virginia
12
Tech
and
maybe.
0.
Oh, and yeah, Virginia Tech as well.
And those
Nope.
aren't even tough games.
No,
They're
Zai
not.
believes they will go 12-0 as well. Like, they honestly probably could. I have them going 11-1. I think they will go 11-1 in the season this year. Miami is you're right. They aren't the most impressive team. They've got some people from the transfer portal, but overall their schedule is just so easy. They don't have to play Clemson.
There's not a tough ACC schedule in my opinion, top to bottom, because I just
Yeah.
don't think the conference is very good. I mean,
Yeah.
they're coming off a loss to Rutgers last year. I'm looking at in the Pinstripe Bowl. Zai has been trying to tell us from the beginning. I mean, I could see a couple slip-ups, but they really have no reason not to run this conference this year.
Yeah, Miami's looking.
And you're giving them room to mess up at 9.5.
Yep. That's 2 losses, and they still won.
Yeah, and that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say now, I think the winner of the ACC is going to get the 4 in the playoff. Just about guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably.
No way around it. Next team, Clemson Tigers, 8.5.
I think they go over that
I do too. I also
pretty easily,
I also do.
honestly.
I think that Clemson is going to be the best team in the ACC. But I
I
also
do as
think
well.
I think that they lose to Georgia Saturday,
I think they lose to Georgia pretty comfortably.
and
too.
I think 8.5 is criminally low for them.
Yeah,
That's giving you like almost 4 games to slip up in.
Yep, 3 losses, and they're still solid. Like, they still hit their over. I think they'll go 10-2. I think they're gonna lose to Georgia, start 0-1, and then they're gonna lose 1 in the conference play to Virginia Tech.
Their rivalry game is that South Carolina or is it Citadel?
Yep.
Because they seem to play
It's
Citadel
South Carolina.
every year, don't they?
It is South
is
Carolina.
back-to-back games for them.
Yep, it is.
They always play Citadel, I swear. But yeah, I think, are we all in agreement at 8.5 being over, or do you believe something different, Adam? I think they're the best
think
team
it's
in
over.
ACC, and I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't say too much. Penn State Nittany Lions 9.5. That's kind of a tough one, right where they're at. That 9.5 line, and the thing is, they do not play Michigan this year.
Yeah, I think they go over 9.5.
Sorry, Joe.
Their schedule, I look-
Saturday too. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I'll hit the
Yeah.
under on that. I don't think they'll get 10 wins. I think they're going to probably get 9. I I think that they could potentially lose Saturday to West Virginia. I think they're going to lose to Ohio State. And, I mean, you have toss-up games between USC,
Go to Wisconsin.
maybe Wisconsin.
Tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how good Wisconsin is, they usually have pretty good home field advantage. I think they go the over just because of outside of Ohio State, they don't play a top 10 team. I don't think.
No, I mean,
I think they don't really. They're not really tested. And a fun fact about Penn State is that they have been hurt by the 4-team playoff more than any other team. 5 of the last 6 years, they would have made the 12-team playoff, and they didn't make any because it was the 4-team. Joel Klatt actually said that stat, and it's like, so now, and their average finish overall is 9.5. So it's funny because their win total's at 9.5. So to get to their average finish wouldn't be just like a playoff berth. That would be making it to the second round is where they would have to be to produce. And I think avoiding Michigan and Oregon is a big deal for them this year.
yes.
Yes.
Big deal. Wow, okay, Zai. D1, he's not even playing along with the game. He's just being a troll. He's just being a hater. Alabama Crimson Tide, 9.5. Now, yeah, I know they got Kalen DeBoer now. Kalen DeBoer, new year. But let me just read this off to you real quick. They do play Georgia. They do play Missouri. They do play Tennessee. They do play LSU. They do play Oklahoma. And then they have the Iron Bowl. It is a pretty tough schedule, but do you believe that Alabama is going to just be Alabama, or do you think that they're going to take a step back?
I think they will hit the over on this. I personally think they're going to be the same old Alabama. I think they're going to go 11-1 with a loss to Tennessee. I think they'll beat Georgia.
Ooh, to Tennessee,
for their,
okay.
Yes, I think they'll beat Georgia in their conference opener. And their only loss would be against Tennessee this year. So, while their schedule is kind of stacked, I do think it still favors them. Like, they're not going to be going into any of these games not favored, other than maybe against Georgia. So, I think Alabama's going to hit the over and still be the same old team that we're used to.
Zai also agrees the over. Adam?
Yeah, I would lean the over on this one too. I think they lose to Georgia.
I picked the under on Penn State.
That is true. You did. Actually, you did. Yeah. Do you think?
Yeah, I think they
go
go
right at 9,
10.
I'm guessing.
Yes, I think they're going to go 9-3.
Yeah, I mean the schedule's and as bad as it is, I think Wisconsin is a team that's right outside the rankings. They go there, and I know Alabama's a better team, but I wouldn't say that that's like playing an FCS school on the road or like Vandy. Like, it's not really like a super easy place to go win. I think Fickle too. Wait, this is Fickle's second time coaching against Bama. Adam?
Yep.
Well, that is a nice little storyline.
Yeah.
He didn't do too bad the first time,
Okay.
in my opinion.
So, are we all in agreement at the over? I think Trevor would be happy with
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I think the over.
I also would not be surprised, though, if they do take a step back. Like not a 2 or 3. I mean like 1. Like, they lose one more game than usual.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I'm saying. I still think they're going to be really good. They're too talented to not be good. And they can just out-talent people on the field. That Bama-Georgia game is going to be
Insane.
insane. And that's going to be a night game. Yeah, Oklahoma Sooners, 7.5. Now, interesting fact here is that Oklahoma State has a higher over than Oklahoma for the first time since I've started watching football.
Real.
Think about that.
7.5. I think we're gonna have to go ahead and take the under on this one.
Whoa!
I don't think they're going to get 8 wins. I think they're gonna go 7-5 in conference play.
I said 12-0. 12-0.
They might have one of the most difficult schedules in conference play.
Brutal schedule.
If you were to walk through the games, like they are playing the top half of they're playing the top half of the conference.
They don't play Georgia. They do avoid Georgia. That is the only bonus to the schedule.
They do avoid Georgia, but they're still playing Alabama. and they still have
They
to
play Texas. They play Tennessee. They play Ole Miss.
Missouri.
They play Missouri, and they play LSU.
LSU. It's a pretty stacked schedule.
Kick
It's not as bad as Florida's.
Florida
but-
has the worst schedule in the country. Michigan's also up there. Their schedule's insanely tough.
Florida's schedule is the toughest
yeah, no.
in the country. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And the thing is, Florida's not very good. So
Yeah, they could have a
Oklahoma's
1-11
schedule
season.
is tough. I do think I give them more benefit of the doubt than other people. I think that they're still a really good team and program, and that I'm not assuming losses in those games. I think that they'll be able to play, up to par in the SEC. Because I've always believed in it's not about the conference; it's the team that you're playing one-on-one against. That's how good they are, not just the whole conference.
I think
as a whole. I don't think
they
that they're
will-
going to go in there and just win 4 games. Like that's just not.
I think that they will be good in the future, but this first year in conference play, I don't think they're going to do too well. I think it will be new for them. They have a new team right now, new system. They have some players returning on defense. I think a majority of their defense is returning.
I heard a lot about
But-
their O-line though. Is what I did.
Their
hear.
O-line, new quarterback in conference, in a new conference. They're not going to have anything. He doesn't have any playing experience other than against Arizona. So I think they'll go 3-5 in conference play and finish the season 7-5.
Ooh. Adam, what did you say? Did you say the over or the under?
Honestly,
I'm the over. I think they go 8-4.
I think they go 7-5.
So you
Kind of for
over?
like the same reasons
same
that Bryce
area.
said. Honestly, yeah. I just think in the future, they'll be like back to where Oklahoma should be. I think this is first year, they'll struggle a little bit.
Okay. Next team. Colorado Buffaloes 5.5.
5.5.
That's
What?
low. 5.5.
Low.
I think they go over. Personally, I think that they
Really?
I think that they are better than they were last year. Shout out Dalvin.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit the under on them.
I think that they actually got better, but I don't think that they're still that good. I have them winning 6 games. I think they'll make a bowl game, which is
That's
it. And I know they were bad last year. They were bad, but they also lost a lot of they were in 1-score games in the fourth quarter with a lot of good teams last year, besides the Oregon game, obviously. And I think in the transfer portal, I know they got a lot of new players and stuff, but I think overall they're going to be better than last year. But I'm by no means am I rooting for Colorado though. But a 5.5 line, I just feel like that's just low.
I feel like that's very high.
Really?
I feel like that's very high for Colorado. I think the line should be at like 4.5, maybe just 4. I think that they will go 4-8 and win 2 games in conference play. I think they're going to lose in Nebraska and then non-conference.
I do too.
I think they could very well lose tomorrow against North Dakota State.
They
Like,
might also do that.
I think that's going to set the tone for them. If they come out of that game like winning by 20, 30, then okay, we'll see. Maybe they are going to be good. But I think that's going to be a very close game for the majority of the game. I don't think Colorado is going to blow them
I
out.
don't either.
I think they're going to be the exact same team from last year, to be completely
If
honest.
Colorado gets over the hump and beats and starts out 2-0, and they go and beat Nebraska, I think that there's actual hope that they get there over.
Very possible. They play Colorado State and Baylor the following 2 weeks after that. So those would both be winnable games for them. They do play against UCF, and then they go UCF, Kansas State, Arizona.
Those are all losses, I think.
I agree. Then they get Cincinnati, which they might win.
That's a loss. Big time loss.
You think it's a loss?
Big time
Minus
loss.
39.
Yeah.
No.
Um,
No.
But they finished the season playing Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State. So their last half of the schedule is brutal for Big 12 conference play.
Yeah, I mean, I still got them. I'm by no means am I saying they're a good team. I just think that they could get the 6 wins. Because they won, 4 games last year?
Yes.
So, I mean, they were pretty close. Adam, you're taking the under?
Severely under.
Yeah. See, I do. Okay, I'll be in the minority here. We'll keep up with this, by the way. because they need to start out good or else they're going to lose a lot
Yeah.
of games on this stretch. Zai's right. Shout out Dalvin. Texas Longhorns, 10.5. I'm taking the under. I think they lose 2 games.
That seems extremely high.
They have the same over-under as us and Georgia. As and Oregon. Those are the 4 highest.
I'm going to take the under on them as well. I think they will go.
2-10.
Yeah. I think that they are going to go 9-3. A little bit better than OU, but I think they're also going to struggle
I think
in the
people
SEC
don't
first year.
realize just because they have Quinn Ewers how much this team lost.
Yeah,
They don't.
like
They're not taking it into account at all. I still think
They
they're
lost-
a good team. I do think they're going to be a good team, but
they lost a ton on offense
They lost
and
so
a ton
much.
on
their
defense.
D-line
Like,
was what held them up last year, and they lost all of it.
yeah, and then their starting running back
secondary
got
was
injured.
horrible, and their backup running back, I'm pretty sure, got injured. Their
Yeah, they did.
secondary was terrible. That's why Penix and Washington beat them, because they literally picked on their secondary the whole time.
The Texas, they also have a decent schedule that they have to play. They do play Michigan, they play Georgia, they play OU, they're playing Florida and Texas A&M.
They'll
Which-
beat Florida.
I think they'll be Florida too. I think the Texas A&M game,
So
I think they're just gonna outright lose it.
Beating them this week.
we'll see.
Oh, that's funny. But like the issue here for me with the Michigan Texas game is we don't know really. I mean, we know what Texas is, and Michigan's got a lot of new people and new faces. But to be honest, does anybody expect Michigan to change the way how they're playing? Like, I don't think they're going to come in and be an air raid offense and be finesse or anything. It's like the trenches is what worries me for Texas because Michigan's such a suffocating team to play against. They don't give you the ball. They beat you with 9-minute drives in the chains, and they lost that D-line.
I think both Texas and Michigan will take a step back this year. I think they are still being overhyped right now.
Michigan's going to take a step back after they drop the hammer.
Yeah.
Drop the hammer. Cheaters. Asterisk. Fake natty. I'm just kidding. But,
No, you're not.
I'm not. Yeah, but no.
You're definitely not.
I definitely am, but also, like, fuck them. I don't care. Anyway, Adam has sort of seen it a little bit, but I think Bryce saw it really last year, how much my blood boils when I get to really talking about it, but so I'm not going to get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you heard
See, Zai's spitting right there. Yeah.
Yeah, at least
That's why DeMarco Murray is going to get a suspension for illegally recruiting 17 running backs.
Yeah, that's-
17 and he got one.
Yeah.
And they gave
Yeah, for real.
You
That's
gotta do what you gotta
crazy.
do.
Dude, who's his PR, like his lawyer? That he
Yeah.
got him 17. That's hilarious. I saw a bunch of Michigan fans complaining about that. Like, Jim Harbaugh gave him a cheeseburger and missed this, and he had 17 running backs. And I thought it was hilarious.
That's insane.
Hilarious. We needed all 17 of
You're
them.
darn right you needed all of them because that
I
offense is
remember if
atrocious.
Texas is the last one. Let's see. Oh, USC Trojans 7.5.
Let me take a look.
The thing
That's
is,
tough.
their schedule. Not. First off, a huge game this weekend on Sunday. Not a
that
really
is
super
huge.
easy schedule, to be honest.
I,
They dodge Oregon and Ohio State, but besides that, they're playing a lot of the middle of the pack to upper Big Ten teams this year.
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to hit the under on them. I think they'll go 7-5. They have a ton.
When
Their schedule is also not the easiest, and their non-conference they're starting out with a banger. So
if they win the game Sunday, there's not a lot of people picking them to win. Not a lot of people picking them to win. But like after the Utah State game, you got to think they go to Michigan, they got Wisconsin, then Minnesota's like kind of like whatever.
I think Minnesota will be tougher. I think they might lose that game.
That's what those games, like those Big Ten West teams, like the Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, they always will give you a pretty tough defensive game. no matter what.
Yeah,
like,
they're
their
gonna be
offenses
tricky.
suck usually, but their defense is. I think Penn State's better than them after that. Then they play Maryland. We all think Rutgers are going to be better than what they were, and they were pretty solid last year. I mean, what's his name has us really believing in them. I think that they're actually pretty solid too. But then you got Washington, Nebraska, and you got Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame is coming in as bad as it sounds. Like, from everything I've heard from Klatt and Pate and everything, it's like a lot of people are pretty high on Notre Dame this year.
Yeah, Notre Dame could very well be undefeated going at the end of the season. Like, they have their schedule is also pretty easy. Outside of USC, they're playing Florida State and
You see what
Texas
that is
A&M.
now. Yeah, and
so-
A&M's this week. So
Yep.
I mean, the thing about it is anybody a big believer in Miller Moss, or is that shit?
I am.
kinda am.
I think he will be good. I don't think he's going to be what Caleb Williams was,
It's
but I
hard to
think
replicate, though.
I think he will have potential, and he'll be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He'll stand out. He'll be unique. So, I do think that he's going to be the reason why they win or lose games. We will see. Obviously, we haven't seen a full season of him yet.
Yeah.
But I'll hit the under on USC. I don't think that they're going to get 8 wins.
The thing for me, and it's crazy to say, but like, I don't know how much I trust Lincoln Riley defense going into teams like Wisconsin without like a Caleb Williams, to where like the offense, like he was like solo, like put the team on his back on offense a lot last year.
Caleb Williams was a generational type player. Like, without him on the team, USC is not winning games that they were
how bad
winning.
their defense is. That's what I'm saying. If they can't score
Yes.
on like Wisconsin or something, I don't know if they win that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you take the over or the under here, Adam?
I got the under on this one as well.
Under on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did these players go? All right, so I put in order,
This is my
usually from
specialty.
easiest to hardest. These are all transfer portal, so it's not
From
like
this-
everybody. You've heard of all these players. That's the deal. This isn't going to be terribly hard. I'm not putting a bunch of people going from UTEP to, wherever. That's not the point. And the first couple were like really easy, just to show you an example of what it is. Okay, so we got like the first one's like Caleb Downs. Obviously, we know where he went, right? And then the second one is Dylan Gabriel. We know where they went. Now is where I was showing those as examples. We're going to start now, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard transferred from Duke to where?
Notre
He
Dame.
is the Notre Dame quarterback.
Okay, so the way we'll do it is I'll ask one person, and then they'll guess it and try to get it right, and if they don't know, the other person can steal it.
Heard.
All right, Adam. Keon Sabb, he transferred from Michigan. He's a safety to where?
That one I don't know. I
Bryce?
think it's a big school.
It is
Alabama.
It is Alabama.
Oh, Alabama, yeah.
That's Caleb Downs' replacement right there.
Yep.
All right, Bryce. Brock Vandegrift. He transferred from Georgia to where?
I believe he transferred from Vandy to Georgia. Did he not?
Nope.
Did he go to Vandy?
No, he did not. Adam, do you have a guess?
I know this from College Football 25. He went to
He
Kentucky.
did go to Kentucky. Yeah, I'd say this was the backup for Carson Beck. He was actually really highly rated out of high school.
Yeah.
So he's going to be the
If they-
starter at Kentucky. Yep, I got it.
If Kentucky is anything like they are in the game, they should be disgusting this year.
Yeah.
They're insane.
Adam, Trevor Etienne. He transferred from Florida. Where did he go?
He went to Georgia.
He did, yep.
Yeah.
Bryce, do you know that one? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured. Bryce, Cam Ward, where he transferred from Washington State. Where'd he go?
Miami.
He did, yeah. So that's a big reason why I think Zai's a believer, and I think a lot of other people are believers in Cam Ward in Miami. All right, Adam. Caden Proctor, he transferred from Alabama. Where did he go?
Okay, so technically he went to Iowa, right? And then went back to Alabama.
Yeah, see, there you go. Okay. I was trying to make sure you guys were on your game there with that one. I thought that one was fun to put on there. Yeah, he didn't
That's
even take a snap at Iowa.
And he collected a bag.
He
Hey, Gotta respect
I
that.
almost think
And
he should
expose the
probably get in
program
trouble
for allegations.
that. Like,
You
that's
that's fraud.
Yeah, he
He never
Definitely
intended
should.
on playing there.
Yeah.
Never once. So, like, all right. So it's Bryce. You're up. Will Rogers transferred from Mississippi State to where?
To Washington.
He is the starting quarterback of Washington. I think that's hard to replace Penix, but interesting with him going from SEC to Big Ten like that. How that's
I
going
do think he will be very successful at Washington.
Okay. I didn't think he was bad at Mississippi State, really.
He holds SEC records for freshmen. He holds freshman quarterback records in the SEC.
Adam, you're up. This is the last
Alrighty.
one. DeQuan Finn transferred from Toledo to where?
he transferred to the Baylor Bears.
He did. And a lot of people are really down on Baylor, but I think Finn is the real deal.
Yeah, I think
I think that he's the
big.
great quarterback overall.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna put Deshaun Pace at the end just to troll me.
No. I wouldn't. I'm not Zy McCartney. All right,
Good
so I
point.
figure we could go through this together, just like a lot of the main places are. We like Pate, Clad, ESPN, Thamel, all those guys. Let's go ahead and make our own college football playoff predictions with seeding.
All right.
So, and the thing is, the seed doesn't reset, so it's not like if the 9 seed wins or anything, like the lowest goes there or anything. It's just straight bracket. That's how it works. I had to make sure on that. So, who are we picking to get the 1 seed overall? And it's got to be a conference winner. Top 4 are the conference winners.
I personally think Oregon.
Wow.
I think they'll be the number one
I
team.
disagree with you there, but
I am taking Georgia.
so that means you would have Oregon beating us twice, then, Adam.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have Georgia
Adam's a D1 hater.
D1.
I have Georgia
D1.
at number 1.
I also had Georgia at 1. So Georgia go 1, and then I'm assuming whatever 2 would be Oregon. Then do you agree with Oregon, Bryce, or do you think we're going to win the Big Ten?
I have
Or
Ohio
someone
State
else?
at number 2.
Okay. Sorry, Adam.
But
If
yeah.
you're getting majority votes.
It was
here.
close. I had Georgia at 2, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so we got Georgia 1, Ohio State 2. So 3 will be the winner, probably out of the Big 12 or the ACC. Who are we thinking there? I think the ACC is going to be 4. So personally, I would put
Yeah.
Utah at 3.
I put Clemson at number 3.
I have Utah as well.
Okay, so we got
At
Utah at 3. So 4. Are we all picking Clemson to win the ACC?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the next seed we would do would be 5, which would be these are the at-large bids
Real
from here
quick.
on out.
I have Oklahoma State at number 4.
Oh,
I think we need to get that included. I do not think Utah will win it.
okay.
I don't even think they'll be in the conference championship game.
You think it'll be Arizona?
I don't think it'll be Arizona. I think it'll be either Kansas State. I think it'll be Kansas State, Oklahoma State.
Okay. What do you think, Adam?
I think it's going to be Utah, Oklahoma State in the conference championship.
Who do you have winning it? So we
Utah.
decide who our 4 seed is. Okay, so we got 1 is Georgia, 2 Ohio State, 3 Clemson, 4 Utah is what we have going into the at-large.
Yes.
So I think 5. I think we almost have to put Oregon here, right? If they're not going to be
definitely.
the 2, right, Bryce?
I put Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's a good shout because there's a good chance they go undefeated, and this is what
Yes.
they have to go.
They would be number 5 if they went undefeated.
If they do go undefeated too, they will get number 5 no matter what.
Yep.
Ooh, I think
So I'm fine with Notre Dame at 5.
I think Oregon's better than them, but I think that 5 will have to be Notre Dame. Then, so 6 has to fall to Oregon. Then, all right.
Yes.
So we all have to be
Yes.
unanimous on
Yep.
that. 7 is, I'm guessing, probably going to be the SEC runner-up. Who do we think is going to be in the conference championship game? Do we think Texas? Do we think Alabama? What are we thinking?
I put Ole Miss at number 7.
Whoa. I do not agree with that, personally.
I have Alabama at 7.
What if we all 3 have different teams?
Very possible.
We can agree to disagree.
Because I was debating here between, like, Missouri.
Missouri. So Missouri's schedule is very favorable.
That's why I was saying that, and I think that if they just get there and lose to Georgia,
I think there's so many
Missouri's
other
schedule.
teams. Yeah.
Look at it. I mean, they do play Bama, but like they don't play Georgia in the regular season. Like they don't play a ranked team until October, and then after
Missouri,
and it's Texas A&M.
Missouri could easily go 11-1, 10-2. I think they will go 10-2.
That's why I had them at 7. I don't think Ole Miss is better than Missouri personally.
Really?
I do. I don't buy it into Ole Miss at all personally, especially after Lane Kiffin's comments. I don't buy into it.
I get it now. Makes so much sense.
They also haven't won their conference in like 65 years. Like it's hard for me to buy into a team that's like that.
Yeah, I think there's multiple teams that could be playing in the SEC championship. I think there's a world where Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and Ole Miss all go 11-1 this year, and all are 7-1 in conference play, and the tiebreakers on that situation would be crazy.
Yeah.
But I think Ole Miss will come out, and I have them as the 7th seed.
So you had Bama, Adam?
Yes, I did.
It's tough. I leaned more towards Bama overall, Bryce, personally.
No, I gotcha. I had Bama at number 9, if that has any consolation.
So we're going to go ahead and put Bama at 7. Are we putting Ole Miss 8, or will it be a third Big Ten team or a third SEC team, or what's the plan here? We think.
I had Penn State at number 8.
I had Penn State at 8 and Ole Miss at 9, playing them overall.
Really?
I think they'll play again. I think that they've been the exact same team for like the last 5 years.
Yep.
Like in both conferences, they're the exact same team overall. What do you have, Adam?
I have the same thing as you, Paul. I do
Okay.
think Penn State and Ole Miss will, yeah.
And here's where we could put at 10. I think Missouri has to go here.
I agree with that.
My number
I think
10.
If they're 10-2, it's going to be hard to drop them.
What about the Big 12 runner-up? I put Kansas State at number 10.
Okay, I could agree with that. I don't
Yeah.
hate that. And then what, you put Missouri at 11?
I actually had Miami at 11.
Oh wow. Okay.
Again, Miami's schedule is so favorable for them that if they were to go 11-1,
Yeah, I lean
they're
Miami on
definitely
that
in
one.
the.
I almost
they're-
think Miami might get like overall, if we're really thinking about it. I think that before the third SEC and third Big Ten team, I think we're getting Miami.
Yeah, Miami, because of their
Now that
brand,
you
they
said
could.
that too. Now that I'm thinking about it. So if we had to redo what we were just saying, so it would be 1 Georgia, 2 Ohio State, 3 Clemson, right?
Yep.
4 we put Utah. 5 was Notre Dame. 6 was Oregon. 7 is where we were.
So 7 be Miami.
No, 7 would be the big or the SEC runner-up.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay,
I
yeah.
think that we ended up putting Bama there. So I think Miami would go 8.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
would you put Penn State 9 or Ole Miss? Because that's your 9 and 10.
I would put Ole Miss ahead of Penn State.
I also think they would. Well, the issue is, no matter what, you're kind of setting up. If Ole Miss goes to 10, they're playing Bama again. And if Penn State goes to 10, they win, they're going to play Ohio State. So we're going to get repeat games no matter what. But I think that Ole
That'd be
Miss
good.
9, Penn State 10 is fair. And then do we think 11, do we think that that's going to be...
Big 12.
Do we think that's the Big 12 runner-up? Yeah, I think that's fair. So, like, you say Kansas State. I'm okay with that. Who'd you have? Did you have Oklahoma State?
I had Oklahoma State in mind.
I had Oklahoma State in mind, too.
I had them at number 4. So if they're not
So
Or they probably got to be there.
11.
The Kansas State.
And then the FCS school going to be 12. Personally, I know a lot of people are picking Liberty, but I think I'm going Boise to actually be the 12.
So that's interesting. Are you taking Boise with their backup quarterback or the new quarterback?
I am.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are they only lost to Oregon?
Yep.
I did pick Liberty for my 12
I'm
team.
fine with that too. Adam, who did you go with? Do you think?
I kind of went with like a unpopular one. I have the Memphis Tigers.
That's a good one.
I was gonna say I don't
Winning
think
the
that's that bad either. Like Memphis could definitely do something. I just think they go by the highest ranked group of 5. So even though Memphis could win, if they're not ranked higher than Liberty or Boise, they're not gonna get the bid.
Well, the thing about Memphis, though, if you look at it, where like it's the more you say that, like an 11-1 Boise is going to be tough. If Memphis is able to win that Florida State game, it's going to that's yeah. I mean, they're in the American, but like you almost have to be 11-1, 12-0 to be this FCS team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no way around it. And it looks like the only thing that Memphis plays Florida State, Boise plays
Oregon.
Liberty, I mean, who's the best
Yeah,
team they
man.
play?
They have no one there.
Probably Western Kentucky, I'd assume.
Yeah, I mean, do we put them, you think, because they don't have a loss, really?
I think if they go undefeated, Liberty's gonna get the bid over the other two.
Yeah, I can't. They don't play a top Power 5 school at all. I think they
Oh,
play East
they have
Carolina.
a
That's
super
not even,
easy schedule.
Adam knows all about the Pirates.
Those stingy bastards.
Okay, so if we put Liberty 12, here's what we got. So 8 versus 9. We'll pick these games real quick.
Okay.
Well, do we remember what we had? Let's start with 5 and 12 because we were just there. Notre Dame and Liberty. Take a Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, pretty
Notre
easily.
Dame.
Yeah, pretty easily. First time they'll win a big game like in the postseason in a long time. Just saying. Actually, that 4 versus 5 is going to be pretty interesting. Utah, Notre Dame.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So we did do the 8-9, which is Ole Miss and Miami.
Miami.
And that's going to be at Miami, the worst college football stadium in the country, in my opinion. I hate that Hard Rock. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's horrible. So who you guys thinking, Ole Miss or Miami?
That's tough.
It's not much of a home field advantage, but
Yeah,
Kind of leaning Old Miss.
I am too.
I
If
was
Miami had a
towards Ole
home,
Miss as well.
I think we should go Ole Miss. Miami just doesn't have a home field advantage. To
Yeah.
it. Like that game would basically be a neutral site for them.
7 versus 10 is going to be Bama versus Penn State. I think if this game was at Penn State, I might even lean towards being able to take them, but I think Bama wins at home.
I agree with that. And it's James Franklin coaching a big game. He can't do it.
That's exactly true.
So, yeah. Give me Bama.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, that is.
yeah. Like I said, if it was at Happy Valley, I would give it pretty close, but I think that Bama takes it. Our 6 versus 11, that was our Kansas State versus Oregon at Oregon. And I think Oregon.
Oregon pretty
Are
easily.
you taking
in that
Kansas State or Oklahoma State?
Oh, Oklahoma State. I'm still taking Oregon, though.
one. I'm still taking Oregon.
I am too.
Like,
we're not being Oregon.
Yeah.
That offense too strong.
Okay, so next up, our second round matchup, we'll have Georgia, Ole Miss, and these are in the
Georgia.
bowl games now. I think we're taking Georgia, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think it was a good run, Ole Miss, but we're gonna go Georgia. Next up, what is the Notre Dame Notre Dame neutral site versus Utah? Is it crazy?
I kind of
to say
lean the
I
Irish.
kind of lean Notre Dame here,
I think Notre Dame's gonna win that. Yep.
especially since these second round games aren't at home. Like that guy,
Yeah.
I almost don't really agree with that.
I think Notre Dame would win.
Yeah, I'm going with Notre Dame as well. Which a big run for Marcus Freeman right here.
Yep.
You almost really love that spot. And Joel Klatt was talking about it. It's like, Yeah, you skip a first round bye, but if you're Notre Dame, you're almost guaranteed if you do really well to get the 5 every time, and like you're gonna play the FCS team almost every time in the first round. It's like, do you take that over a bye? It kind of comes and goes and goes with it. That's also it's like
And then you play the
the
4 seed. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing with the 4 is like some years these 8-9 teams are going to be the teams who got second in their conference championship. Like they might put the SEC team here or the Big Ten team here, where it might be Oregon or like say Georgia loses the SEC championship and they end up getting the 8 seed overall because of it's like a near the 1 seed. Like damn, like thanks. At that point,
Yeah.
Next up we got Oregon going to Clemson. I think I'll take the Ducks or not going to there, but I got the Ducks at a neutral site.
I do
I
too.
would also take the Ducks.
Oregon's so good this year.
Yeah, that they are. Then we got Alabama versus Ohio State.
I'm going to take the Buckeyes in that one.
Yeah, I think you have to go with Ohio State. They have that $20 million team that they built, and they're going to have to show something for it.
So on the other side, we would have Notre Dame playing Georgia in the semifinal. I think that's where the Irish's luck run out.
Yeah, I'd have the
Georgia.
Bulldogs in that one.
Then you got, and as Adam going to pick them to beat us for a third time, Oregon and Ohio State in the semifinals.
I am not. I'm taking Ohio State in that one.
It's
It's hard beating a team twice. It's almost even harder to beat them a third time.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever happened. Has a team ever played 3 games in one season?
I don't think it can happen.
I don't think it has.
Yeah.
I mean, the playoff would be the only chance that it could, and it didn't happen.
That would be crazy.
Teams played twice. I do know they played twice. Well, I guess there was a chance that when Bama and Georgia played in the SEC championship, then played in the national championship, if they played in the regular season.
They didn't though. They never play each other because they're cowards.
2017.
I know they're cowards. They don't ever
exactly.
play a
So
regular
that
season.
means your national championship would be set up with Georgia and Ohio State, which
I have the Buckeyes. And
let's go,
winning it
Adam.
all.
That's what I'm talking about.
The team is just way too talented to not win the championship.
I have Georgia. I hate to break it to you.
To me to put me in this.
I really like Ohio State here, but Georgia has just been proving themselves year after. Honestly, they should have 3 national titles right now, going for a 4th, and I don't even think it's really that close. Like them not making the playoff last year and then doing what they did to Florida State and proving that they should have been in the playoffs. I think if they got in the playoffs last year, they would have won the national championship 3 straight years. And
I
could
think so
be
too,
going there for.
personally. I think last year they would have. I'm not going to discredit the team up north, I guess, for that, but because Bama did just beat Georgia and then they beat Bama, so I'll give them that. But you're putting me on the spot with my team to pick this.
Yep.
I mean, you got to think this is a revenge game, right? I mean, lost
Revenge
by
game
1 with the missed field goal, like. You don't think they're going to think about that at all? A lot of these
To
guys
the
are on that
national
team.
championship.
Oh man,
You don't have C.J. Stroud this time. You have Will Howard throwing the ball.
Go ahead and say it.
You don't have Marv.
wishes he had this defense though.
That is true.
This defense is, yeah. I can't pick against my guys, Bryce. I can't do it. When it comes to this, I think.
Taking Ohio State.
I mean, what would, if you were in my shoes, what would you think? I'm wearing Ohio State stuff right now.
So, I do agree. The defense is going to be generational. If this defense is anything like the 21 Georgia defensive team, if they're better, they're going to be the best defense of all time. And if they don't win a Natty, or have something that, like, if they don't win the Big Ten or the Natty, with this defense, that's going to be crazy. So, I think they have to prove themselves somehow, some way.
And
If I was in your
Kelly
shoes.
running the ball. I mean, they made
this year
college
is
football unrealistic and nerfed Quinshon's spin move.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
It was fun. That's a tough one. I do also think it'll end up being Georgia and us, though. So,
I do too.
next up, let's do our last slide of this. It's Pick'em Week 1. I just put a lot of the big games on here, and let's just see what we think. What do you guys think here? We got tomorrow night, we got a couple good ones. North Carolina at Minnesota. Minnesota's minus 1.5. That spread is. Oof.
I think Minnesota's going to win this game. I think it's at Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a gut feeling. I think they're pretty evenly matched teams. Minnesota, nobody has. They've been building up their class. They've been in rebuilding years. I think this is the year where they come out and do something. I think they'll beat
really good
North Carolina.
in 2019. If people don't really remember that, but they were actually in the top 10 for.
Yeah, they were
the year.
in the playoff conversation that year.
Yeah. Yeah, they were until Wisconsin were able to beat them, but. Yeah, so I mean, this is an interesting game for me. 1.5 is just if you're betting the spread, you might as well just bet money line at this point. And week 1 is before chat flames us. Week 1 is undoubtedly the hardest week to pick. But also everybody in chat, as long as you're in the pick'em, starting after this week, we're gonna have the standings put up on the broadcast here on the slides to show you guys who's going where. If you think that you're better picking than us, then prove it. I think I'm going to take Minnesota at home. I was going to take whichever team was at home for this one, and it is Minnesota. Adam?
Yeah, I'm also taking the Gophers in that one.
The Golden Gophers. So do you have also for each of these, I'm going to ask if you think they'll win and cover.
I will. Yeah, Minnesota will
as
cover.
long as you don't win by 1.
And win.
I mean, I think
That's what I mean.
yeah, they gotta be.
If you want. Yeah, watch them win by 1 tomorrow.
That would be
That's all
insane.
luck, though, isn't it?
Betting luck right there.
North
For
Dakota
real.
State at Colorado. Colorado minus 9.5. I don't think I like that spread.
Nope. I think Colorado wins. They don't cover.
I think they might win by 7 or 6.
I think it'll be a very close game late in the third quarter going into the fourth. I think Colorado will win it just because they have to. So much is on the line. You have Shadur in the offseason talking so much crap. Deion Sanders, I don't want to say he's on the hot seat, but his legacy is almost riding on the season. If he has another season where he is 4-8 again, people are going to start clowning on him harder than ever. Everything that he's built in his entire career, people will start looking at him differently now. So he has to win this game. This is a must-win game.
How crazy is it to turn around from the respect that Deion was getting at Jacksonville State from the national community to what it is now, where a lot of people are actively rooting against Colorado?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like people forget 2 years ago, like everybody loved Deion, like thought he was a great coach. I mean, they were talking about him going to Cincinnati, Adam.
Let me ask y'all something.
Yeah.
If Deion was to go 4-8 this year, and then next year goes 3-9, and then the year after that goes 5-7, do you guys ever think Colorado will fire him?
Oh,
I think they would fire him after the 3-9 season.
I don't think they will, personally.
I don't think he'll ever get fired.
I don't think he'll ever get
he's
fired
going to quit on his own
because you
terms.
got to think about the position Colorado was in before he got there. They've been horrible for a long time.
Yeah.
But also, I give
the thing is,
you hire him to bring a turnaround, and he's not doing it.
Yeah, he just solely relies on the transfer portal.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't really recruit, so that's not sustainable.
He's not a very good people person coach either. For people leaving, have you seen all the arguments?
Yeah, and I want to see what he's able to do without having his sons and Travis Hunter.
I don't think he will be there if his son and those guys are not there. I think he's going to leave.
I feel like this is a limited time thing for him.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It did feel like that, right? Just as long as Shadur is there, he's.
Yep.
Next up, we got a really late kickoff Saturday night. I think 10:30 p.m. East. we have TCU versus Stanford. TCU on the road's they're minus 8.5 points. I know Stanford isn't that good, but I wasn't really big on TCU either.
This one.
I'll take TCU to win and cover.
This is Friday night, actually. Friday night.
It is Friday.
Yeah, Friday night at 10:30.
Yeah, I'll take TCU to win and cover.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's your upset pick of the week.
Do you think it's an upset? Do you think Stanford
TCU's
is better?
minus 8.5.
I mean, I think that I think they'll win and cover that spread.
It's a big spread to be the upset, right? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, TCU being minus 8.5, that's kind of crazy to me on the road.
I think it should be higher. Well, to be honest, I don't think Stanford's that good at all.
I thought you just said you took Stanford to win and cover.
No, TCU. I'm taking
okay.
TCU to win and cover.
Okay, that's fair. Stanford's not that good, yeah. Adam, what do you think?
I think I'm also taking TCU to win and cover.
Okay. Are you guys high on TCU or just that low on Stanford?
Very low on Stanford. I think TCU will be better this year. I think that they'll be like 7-5, somewhere in that range. They'll make a bowl game this year. 7-5, 8-4, but I think they'll definitely win this game pretty easily.
I think TCU is going to win as well. I don't know about. It's hard to cover on the road, but I guess more think about it. Stanford is really not very good. Next up, we got Clemson neutral site against Georgia. Even though I think it's in Atlanta, I wouldn't call that a neutral site. Always gets these.
It's crazy
that they call these neutral sites and they're playing at Atlanta.
They did that with Oregon a couple years ago. They have the SEC championship there. They have the national championship.
There.
Your playoff
Peach
game.
Bowl was against UC was also in Atlanta.
That's insane.
Like, they're never away from home, ever. Like, when it comes to that, and like it's actually really annoying that I think that these type of games should be. Here's the deal, though. Clemson at Georgia, I almost think is worse than them playing in Atlanta. But when it comes to like the big games, I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of neutral site games overall, especially in the season. I think maybe in the postseason I can see it, but I got Georgia here. Do they cover? I think they do. What do you guys think?
I think Georgia's going to win pretty handedly. Clemson's so good. Like, these are both, we say, playoff teams. Top 4 seeds.
Yeah.
But I just think Georgia's going to win. And Clemson's not going to be ready for them necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's just like a freight train.
It's hard to get ready for them right now.
Like, if you look at the last few years, there's only been a couple teams that can keep up with them talent-wise, and that's when they play their close games. They out-talent every team they step on the field with, almost.
Yeah.
And I got Georgia winning and covering. I think that they're not going to cover by much more than that. I think it'll be about 17.
Gotcha.
I think it'll be like 27-10 or something around there, 37-20.
Yeah.
What do you got, Adam?
I also have the Bulldogs covering and winning. I just think they're too good for Clemson.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Brace?
I don't think this will be a super high-scoring game.
Yeah,
I think
two good defenses usually.
Yeah, it'll be pretty low scoring for the most part. If I had to put an over/under on points scored, I would say 45 maybe. I don't think there's going to be more points scored in the game than that. But Georgia, I want to say they'll cover the spread, but I also don't think there's going to be that many points scored in general. So we'll see what ends up happening with them.
Yeah. This next one, there's two games on here that I'm really debating on my upset pick of the week, and this is one of them. Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Texas A&M -3. I got Notre Dame winning this game outright.
I do too. I don't know. It has to just be a home field advantage thing because if Texas A&M was at Notre Dame, I don't think they'd be favored at all. I think it'd be Notre Dame like plus or -8. Something like that.
Like 6.5 maybe, I'm thinking, but like -3 at home. I mean, so the way that the books always work is you get -3 points no matter what if you're at home. So you got to take that off the real spread. They always count a home field advantage. So like the Colorado thing, like they're really a touchdown favorite, but you add the 3 points on. This just seems like it's a push, and they're just going with the home team. And the thing is, like Texas A&M just has never proven that they're a top level team. Not that Notre Dame wins a lot of big games, but they also don't lose games like A&M does either.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame's underrated right now, as bad as it sounds. Like, I know that they get a lot of talk about they're overrated. If you look at them where they finish at the end of the year, they're usually right in the mix of where they started.
Yep, they're always in that 10 to 20 range, and then they'll creep into the top 10, like, at the end of the year.
Yeah, like 8 to 10, they're usually always there. It's always them in Penn State.
They are very underrated.
Always in the same spot. Adam, what do you got? You're taking the Irish, you said?
I am taking Notre Dame in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Next up, you could say what you want about this one. Penn State -8.5 against West Virginia. I kind of want to take the ball on this one a little bit. I think so many people underrate the Penn State program just because they don't beat Michigan or Ohio State. They don't lose to anybody else. That's the thing. And they played Garrett Green last year. And they still have their 2 running backs that dominated. Drew Aller last year, as bad as people say he is, and he really did play in big games, he had 325 passing yards against them last year. And threw 3 touchdowns, but no picks. What changed all of a sudden? Because the thing is, Penn State didn't lose a lot. If anything, their players got older. I think that and Penn State won the game by 3 scores last year. I'm taking Penn State to win and cover. There's a lot of hype around West Virginia for this game. And I just don't know what changed with the same players on the field from last year to this one. And I think that they underrate who they're playing.
I'm going to take West Virginia to outright win this game. This is my upset pick of the week.
8.5 is your spread for the upset.
Yeah, West Virginia team going into this year. Not only did they return 9 out of 11 starters on defense, their offense is stacked. Like, they are going to be a high-scoring offensive team. They got tons of people coming into the transfer portal, talented people across the league that were at previous Big 12 schools. Their defensive line, their front 7 in general, all returned. They are going to be experienced this year. Garrett Green has been improving every single year he's been in the league and he's been playing, and he's a dual threat quarterback. Like, he can not only beat you over your head, he can run the ball too, and he's a very good runner.
This is eerily similar to me, Adam, of the Penn State Auburn game. Of what I heard going into that game. Not saying what you're exactly saying, Bryce. I'm saying what people are saying, like what's going to happen, and I just don't think that they're on the same level of teams, to be honest, personally.
I think West Virginia is... People are not giving West Virginia enough credit going into this season. This is a very exciting season for them.
I can see it on Twitter. They are very excited, and it's not a knock to West Virginia. That's not what I was trying to do. I'm just saying.
This game will show. I don't think Penn State is going to be necessarily ready for how good West Virginia is going to be this year. Granted, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Penn State won, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it will be a very close game if they were to win, if Penn State was to win. Granted, if West Virginia wins, I still think it's going to be a close game. I don't think they're going to blow them out either. I think it's going to be going down to midway through the fourth quarter before we have an idea of who's going to pull away and win. But I think West Virginia will win this game at home.
Adam, you're the deciding factor here.
I have Penn State winning. I don't know if they'll cover, but like you said, they still have Singleton. They still have Katron. I think that they should win by a touchdown.
All right, and Adam seems like trying to be the voice of reason in between We're on very different sides of this one here, Brace.
Yeah, we will see. Like I said, I would not be shocked at all if Penn State wins. I think it will be a very close game.
I think they win by 2 touchdowns, but That's just only because of their running attack, and they always have a good defense. But like I said, week 1 is the hardest week to pick. If this was in week 10, we'd have a way better idea of what's going on. This next game, I get it, it's a rivalry game. Miami versus Florida. I think this is a neutral site. I'm not entirely sure.
It is in the swamp.
So it is in Florida in the swamp. Okay, so Miami's -2.5. I got Miami winning and covering here. I've never been a big buyer into Florida. It's a tough rivalry game, though.
Miami's going to win as well.
I'm kind of in between on this one. I am going to go with Miami, though.
For the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so much that we're so high on Miami. I'm really just not high at all on Florida.
Florida. Yep. I'm right there with you.
Like, I'm, and that's not you guys saying it, but I'm tired of hearing it's like, they play a tough schedule, they play against Florida. I'm like, okay, like, that's supposed to mean something? That team is not good. Like, that team is not Tim Tebow's Florida, or even Kyle Trask's Florida.
So, let me ask you guys something then real quick. Josh Pate made the comment that if Florida was in the Big 12, they would win it year 1. What is y'all's opinion on that?
I do not agree with that.
I think that was an absurd take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see him take that. He also has Georgia as his 8th seed in his bracket, by the way.
That's even crazier. He also had Florida State in the bracket.
Yeah, you gotta get past that now. But
yeah.
I just don't think Florida's a good team no matter what conference you put them in the Power 4. And the thing is, like, the American is, like, the one conference I think that had some weight outside the power conferences, and now they lost it with the teams that left it, like UCF and Cincinnati and those teams.
Yep.
Besides, like, in the Power 4, I don't think they finished top 3 in any conference. As I said, Florida would win the Big 12.
Zai is capping right now. He would not put money on that.
Put money on that. Bet that somewhere. The next one is probably the most surprising line to me. Neutral site, they're playing in Las Vegas. LSU and USC play Sunday night. LSU's -4.5. And that line's surprising to me because I think the general public thinks LSU's kind of going to do whatever they want in this game.
Yeah, I think LSU wins and covers.
I think
However,
this will be a very close game. Everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, look at this game. Like, it's a must-watch game all the way until halftime. And then I think somewhere in the third quarter, LSU is just going to take over and beat them by 2 scores.
Is it crazy to say that the coaches aren't that far off from each other, though? Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley. Like, I don't hold Brian Kelly to some super high esteem. The only reason I think that this could be a close game is because Lincoln Riley is in charge of the offense.
And the defense is atrocious. I mean,
LSU's defense was also atrocious.
Now, granted, I do think the LSU's offense may not be as good as USC's offense.
And that's why this line is kind of surprising. I haven't seen a single person pick USC in this game. How much would it change the college football landscape for the entire season if USC comes out and wins this game?
It would definitely shape up USC's future a lot better. I think that would provide them an extra loss in the Big Ten. Like, they would have another loss that they could potentially lose and still maybe make the playoffs if they won out their other games.
Can you imagine the feelings of SEC fans that tell you year after year that 6-6 teams in the SEC would win other big conferences if they lost this game?
Yeah, that would be crazy. LSU, I mean, they're going to have a question mark at quarterback. Again, both teams won the Heisman with their quarterbacks for back-to-back years. So neither one of those teams has their Heisman winning quarterback. They are very similar.
Both their defenses were atrocious last year. And Ed, I don't care what conference you played in. Their defenses were horrible. Both of them. And their offenses were good. But they both got replacement quarterbacks. They both have head coaches that don't win big games. I mean, what are these the same team in different conferences here that we're dealing with, or what? I do think overall LSU is probably more talented than USC, at least recruiting wise. I think so.
Yeah, I think LSU
I'll
will
take the upset. I guess that'll be my upset pick. I was going between the
Really?
Notre Dame one. I guess I'll take USC.
Okay.
I don't really love it. I'm not like very confident in it. So like the college football pick'em app, like in this year is like, did you notice how I changed it? It's based off your confidence pick. So like, there's 8 games you pick, and whichever one you feel the most confident in, you put 8 points on. Then the next one you put 7 points on, all the way down to
Oh, really?
This would be
Yeah, I
a
did see
1-point
that.
game probably for me. Like I'll take USC to beat LSU for 1 point.
So I gotcha.
It's kind of easier to decipher than just straight up picking and hoping to get lucky. Is what I got out of it.
Gotcha.
Like
That's pretty cool.
I thought it was a pretty good idea to do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So if you look at it and go through now, so I think this would be my 1-point game, but I think I would pick USC to upset
I gotcha.
because there
So
are
you would-
certain ones
So if
like
they won, you would only get 1 point.
yeah, but like
Gotcha.
but I also am not super confident in them winning, so that's why it wouldn't hurt too bad. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I actually really like it how it's set up. Like I did some research because if you looked at it last year, there was like 4 or 5 of us that had like really really good records, and there's no way to really decide a tiebreaker.
Yeah, we were all really close.
Like, and we all like dominated. We were in the top 3% overall. But if you load it up and if you look, so like it counts on there, points for win. There are a couple other games we can go ahead and go through here if we wanted to. Virginia Tech at Vanderbilt Saturday. It's hard to pick Vanderbilt to beat anybody. But I guess because it's SEC versus ACC. This is the worst SEC team versus probably a middle of the pack ACC team. I'm gonna.
You said Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I'll take Virginia Tech.
I think Virginia Tech's going to be pretty good this year.
Okay, so you're definitely picking them then.
Yes.
I have Virginia Tech pretty easily in this one.
Okay, it's hard to pick Vanderbilt at all. Also, this Saturday, Adam, Miami, Ohio at Northwestern.
Yeah, this one, honestly, it's an interesting one. I honestly would not be surprised
Northwestern
to see Miami, Ohio
by
win.
minus 145. That's it. But 92% have picked them to win.
Miami's still got a squad.
Yeah.
Brett Gabbard's still their quarterback who torched us last year. I think they did lose their running back to a major school, but still, they are probably up there for one of the best group of 5 teams, as much as that pains me to say. But I do kind of like Miami, Ohio in that game.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I think because they kind of match up well overall, if you ask me. It's at Northwestern, but the 92%, Miami, Ohio is only plus 125. Like, that's not very much. And then I think, do we believe, the last game I'll talk about before we go ahead and wrap this up here, do we believe that Florida State get back on track on Monday? Because I do think they do. They're at home against Boston College.
So, I'm glad you asked. I see a very real possibility they lose this game.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Their defense. Before the season, if you asked me this, absolutely not. I would never said it. But their defense just got so exposed by the run game. I think
Bad.
Boston College can exploit that.
Bad.
Like, Boston College can really do some damage this on Monday. And if Florida State does not get that fixed, like, that's going to be their downfall for the season.
I think
Granted, Georgia.
I'm giving them credit. I
think they will win
I think
too.
they'll win.
They are still in my mind, they are a top 25 team. They are not very high. They're in that 20 to 30 range. They're still going to be a very good team. Boston College sucks. I mean, talent-wise, who they don't have any really star players. So
It's also the line has moved. I will say this: it went from a 26.5 point line to after they lost to a 15.5, which that's probably the biggest jump I've seen, like and stuff like that.
yeah,
But that's the last game I could think of. We got big games every week. I love this college football season. I'm so glad that we're back tomorrow with some good games like that count and stuff. And we got a good one last week for week 0. I'm glad Pick'em didn't start last week because I would have got that game wrong. Also,
Really,
Adam,
there
I
was
wanted to talk to you about
SMU game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
Yeah,
that. I saw a lot of
they
hype
look
on
bad.
Twitter of them in the offseason about them in the ACC, what they're going to do, and they were big favorites, like 4 touchdown favorites.
They were
Yeah,
talking
they-
a lot of crap to put a performance like that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, against one of the worst teams probably in the country, in Nevada. I know they had one of the lowest win total projections on FanDuel,
Yeah.
and SMU their offense couldn't do nothing. They kept getting stupid penalties. Like there was one 4th and 16. You're about to get the ball back, and then you get a unnecessary roughness penalty, and then Nevada ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive about 5 plays later.
Yeah.
So if they want to actually be a serious contender, they got a lot of stuff to clean up.
Yeah. I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I think that if you look at I was going to say the biggest spreads this week, there's some pretty big ones with it being so early in the season. The biggest one is still ours though, surprisingly. We're at 49.5, but it's funny to see each different site because CBS Sports. So FanDuel has Minnesota -1.5, right? CBS Sports has North Carolina -2 tomorrow. So completely flip the other way.
That's funny.
I know.
Different betting bets have different ones.
Yeah, and kind of
Interesting.
swayed each way. That's really the only one that's. And none of these other games are even
Cincinnati and Towson, dude.
What's the? Also, so Bryce, you guys play South Dakota State. You're only 9-point favorites at home.
Luckily, that has went up. So it started off at 7.5, and it went up to 10.5, and I guess now it's back down to 9.5. So, like I said, if this game was to be played 10 times, I think we would lose 3 out of 10 times. The South Dakota State is not bad whatsoever.
Yeah.
And we have traditionally just struggled with our opening game.
Yeah, that's so
So,
surprising to me.
I still think we are going to win it. I mean, I would never think that we are going to just 100% lose. I will be attending this game,
There you
so
go.
I would never attend a game. I think we would just outright lose. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think this will be a make or break game for us, to be completely honest. This is going to set the tone for the rest of the season. If we come out and just destroy South Dakota State, there's a very good chance next week you will see me talking about going 12-0 and not losing a single game. But if it's close, then we're just going to ride with the 10-2 and see what happens.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I respect it. But is there anything else we want to wrap up with? I mean, I thought it was a pretty good first show. Got some good predictions in. We said who our conference winners is. We did our playoff prediction. Is there anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah, so if you're joining late or want to catch more Oklahoma versus Temple game of the week, I think that's a 42.5-point spread, so it'd be a tough game of the week.
Temple to win.
Owls outright. But what's it called? Yeah, so this is going to be uploaded on YouTube. We're going to go ahead and be able to go back. So what I want to do is at the end of this season, I want to go back and see. We're going to revisit what we said tonight. And see how far off we are. Everything seems so clear and black and white before the season, and then it happens, and one of these top 10 teams ends up being terrible. Some sneaky team is better. It always happens. And that's just why we love college football. But thank you guys for tuning in. Also, Bryce and Adam, thank you for joining me. This is my 4th season doing the podcast, and I've had completely new faces each season, and I'm just glad to have you guys on board still doing this with me, and I really appreciate you guys. So you guys got anything else to say?
I think that's all.
All right. Adam, anything?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Well, you guys have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll be right back next week.